Hey, Passport Acadiana, it's me, Casey, and this time my guest is someone extra special. This is my new friend, Miss Nancy, and she's got a very interesting, unique disease that she's going to tell us a little bit about. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Nancy Schexnaider, and ironically, I met Mr. Bob and Casey recently at a shop, and it was kind of a God-driven thing because I ended up here with them, and they're wonderful people. So I'm going to be talking about the blessings of having a life-altering medical diagnosis. And if I'm shaking a little bit, it's because I have Parkinson's disease. And when you have Parkinson's disease, when you get nervous, you shake a little bit. So I could have worn my t-shirt that said, "I'm not inebriated, I have Parkinson's," but instead I'll just shake a little bit. So I found that being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease was one of the biggest blessings of my life. And people always go, "What?" Because, you know, most people I know that have Parkinson's are all depressed and what's going to happen and why do I have it. I didn't take that slant at all because I was a hospice social worker for 17 years and I knew that everybody was going to get something sometimes. So back in 2022, I had a little tremor in my hand, and being the hospice social worker, I'll go, "Oh, a couple of my patients that have Parkinson's have this." So I went to see a neurologist and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And I thought, you know what? I get to tackle my bucket list. And I was so excited. And I said right off, I don't have cancer, I don't have a stroke. And Parkinson's is manageable.
So besides knowing that it causes shakes, what exactly is Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's disease means you have a lack of dopamine in your brain, or a diminished amount. And without the dopamine, you'll tend to have tremors, you'll have a shuffling gait. As you get older, you really practice with Parkinson's disease on talking loudly, because people with Parkinson's sometimes talk real low and you can't understand them. But it's basically most people on Parkinson's take cardio-levodopa, which is something that enhances the dopamine in your brain. So it's a depletion of dopamine is what it is. They link a lot of it to being around industrial chemicals, I guess. I don't want to name any names, but agricultural. I grew up in Maryland, in Bethesda, Maryland, and wasn't exposed to anything like that. So I really don't have any idea why I have Parkinson's. And I spoke to a neurologist, and he said most people with Parkinson's can't attribute it to environmental or agricultural products. A lot can't. So it doesn't help to obsess. Why me? Why did I get it? But it's that lack of dopamine. So you work on increasing the dopamine. You can increase it with cardio-levodopa. You can also increase it with music, with art, with dance. And when I was diagnosed, before even knowing that, I started taking piano lessons, watercolor lessons. I started horseback riding. I had a horse when I was in high school and showed English. Traveling, because I just had a feeling doing a continuation of all kinds of art, things would help. And I think it has. I used to not be able to draw at all. So I can draw now, and I actually wrote and recorded a song and had it copyrighted, and I was never musical. So the carbo-levodopa, that's one of the medicines most people take. There's a lot of others, I guess, but I think it's called cinnamon also. I'm not sure. But the cardio-levodopa is what helps with increasing the dopamine. But there are other ways to increase dopamine. Exercise does it, art, music. So the more active you can be and the more you do, the better it is for your Parkinson's disease. That's a big part of Parkinson's.
That's a good rule of thumb for a lot of problems people have.
Right.
Just keep moving,
That's right.
So tell me a little bit more about all these amazing things you've gotten into. You said you discovered you had Parkinson's in 2022?
2022. And what's interesting is when they say that you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's, you can assume, which I find hard to believe, but all the neurologists say it, that you've had it 10 years prior. It just wasn't diagnosed yet. So I may have had it, and I know I walked in a marathon, and I was the last one, and I was walking as fast as I could, and he said that's because your strides are shortened. So I probably had it way before, but when it showed up as a tremor is when I was diagnosed. But I probably had it 10 years prior.
What is the typical age most Americans usually find out they have Parkinson's?
Well, Michael J. Fox found out when he was in his late 20s. I don't know. I would probably say in their 50s, 60s. But we do have a group now called Early Onset Parkinson's for young people that are, finding the diagnosis. So I don't know if there's a median age. You could Google it. but I would guess kind of later on. Most
We'll
people.
definitely look into it. I'm
Yeah,
very curious.
and I think more men than women for some reason.
Interesting. What kind of things have you been doing since discovering
Well,
this?
it's been the best life ever. So I did the watercolor. I recorded a song. I've taken 3 huge trips. In 2023, I went to Ireland and Italy. In 2024, I went to Singapore, Thailand, Bali, Malaysia, and Japan. In 2025, I went to Greece, Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. And next spring, I hope to go to Iceland and the Scandinavian countries.
Wow, holy cow.
So what makes me laugh, like, so when I'm home, my husband, El Ray, like, he holds, well, he's not overprotective, but he'll, like, make sure I'm not going to trip and all. But in Thailand, we'd be on these hills with these little paths like this, all cobblestone and no railing. I said, he would have had a heart attack. But there's nothing better than traveling. You realize everybody in the world has the same hopes and goals. It broadens your mind. It's just, I recommend anyone to go traveling, but not wait to be old like me.
Well, I don't think you're old for one. 2, but where was the last place you came from? Like, what was the last trip you made?
Greece, Morocco, Portugal, and Spain.
All at once, huh?
Yeah, 5. I've been going on 5-week trips.
Okay.
We rode camels in the desert, and to see the sunset on the Sahara. Africa's 1/3 desert. And I was at the top of the sand dune, and there was a girl from France, and I said, let's roll down the sand dune, because I'm 70, and she's looking at me like, what? So we go rolling down the sand dune, and it's like, how am I going to get back up there? But it was just so much fun to ride the camels, and to hear in Morocco the prayers in the morning and the blue city, and everything was just so awesome. It's an awesome world out there.
You're making Parkinson sound really good right now.
It can be.
Well,
and
for
you know
you,
what?
at
That's
least,
what I
that's
tell
amazing.
everybody. You can choose to be depressed and not do anything, because there's 3 support groups in the area. There's one for everybody that meets once a month, and one for just patients, one for caregivers. And my husband goes to the caregiver one, and a lot of the women there will say, my husband won't exercise or do anything. And it's just a shame, because I know I went a week where I didn't do too much because I had some out-of-town visitors, and I noticed I felt different. So every day I'm going to try to walk 3 miles. I swim an hour. You've got to keep moving. You've got to keep moving. And that's my biggest suggestion for anyone with Parkinson's.
I agree 100%.
And that segues into they're starting a, what is it called? Parkinson Center of Acadiana at Rise Physical Therapy. It's off of Rue Beauregard. It's strictly Parkinson's.
Okay.
Rock steady boxing, speech, exercising. So if you have Parkinson's and you live here, there are so many wonderful resources, support groups, exercise groups. We're very lucky to have this in this area.
So you've got a couple friends that also have Parkinson's.
Yes. Yeah, we started
How's the
playing
support
pickleball.
group?
The support group's great. It's great to have just other patients there, and my husband gets a lot out of the caregiver. And then it's a big group, and for the big group, they bring in a speaker usually, an informative speaker. So it's just great. You make contacts, and you hear what other people are going through, and you try to encourage them,
So you passed me this oyster shell here earlier before we started our interview. And you gave me this little slip of paper with a cute Santa on it.
Yes.
And so I'll hold the oyster, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Share a little bit about what this creation of yours is.
Well, I live in Abbeville, and we have some of the best oyster seafood restaurants in the area, I have to say. And so it's a little oyster shell I painted with a Santa Claus hat, and it says, Mes chers. I'm not from here, but I think that's how you say it. Mes chers, help Santa out. Santa needs rice for its gumbo. Put rice in the oyster shell on Christmas Eve so he can enjoy gumbo when he returns to the North Pole.
I think that's way better than cookies.
And every time I sell one, I donate 10% of all my proceeds to the Parkinson's Foundation. So
that is wonderful.
I've been trying to find, I have one place in Abbeville that carries them, or 2 maybe. I'm trying to find local places that would want to carry them, And the other thing good about Parkinson's, with my husband being 19 years older than me, he's very, very active.
Wow.
He reads, he does more than anybody I know, but because I exercise, he's also exercising. So it's benefited him also, ironically.
Well, it's always better to have like a battle buddy or someone to back you up. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
when I
see
don't
why.
feel like it, it's like, come on,
A
get up.
spotter, I can see him,
Right.
89-year-old. Come on, one more, Nancy.
So I did want to mention how I met y'all. I grew up an atheist, didn't believe in God. My husband helped me. I now believe very much in God. I belong to several groups at my church, the Bayou. And what I thought were coincidences, I think are God-driven. Because I could go and talk for hours about the weird coincidences that landed me down here, that landed me to El Rey. What are the chances? I never thought I would end up in Abbeville from Maryland.
No, I think that's wonderful. I agree 100%.
And it's the best place I can be. Yeah.
I don't know about
Oh, you're from
Abbeville.
Connecticut.
I'm not sure about that, but I mean in terms of, just amazing what things the universe has in store for us, and there's no such thing as coincidences.
I believe that.
So Miss Nancy, I got one last question. What a perfect segue. What can you tell me about this here CD?
Well, I actually painted the little picture on the front. It's actually 36 by 24 inches. And if you want to be challenged, do a tree and watercolors. So I did the cover. El Rey has done a very nice 10-minute narrative about how the Acadians came down to Louisiana from Nova Scotia, about the whole Le Grand Dérangement. And the song is about 10 minutes long. And then I took pictures to accompany the song. When I would drive around for hospice, I hope I don't get in trouble, but I'm retired. I would stop and take pictures. So it's accompanied by pictures of the area to go along with the song.
Sounds
And
fantastic.
so I did the cover. I put a little bit about myself in here. And Jason Harrington, a local musician who's very talented. I worked with his wife, Joanne, in hospice. She's a hospice nurse. And I knew Jason was a good musician, so he recorded it for me, but I wrote it and copyrighted it.
Okay.
And I think it's a fun song. And I want to read my favorite quote.
Of course.
Life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. So it's not the quantity of your life, but the quality. And too many people in hospice would end up going, I wish I could have, should have, would have. Have no regrets.
Is that the last word you'd like to leave this interview on?
I think so. Thank you, sir.
Miss Nancy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
have been
I really
wonderful.
appreciate you letting me come on.
South Louisiana is bayou and marshland, a place as special as any you've been, where you can pass a good time with fun, love, and Cajuns, living life like a gift to enjoy till the end. The sugarcane grows so straight and tall, a rich Cajun forest so thick and lush. Come harvesting time, it's cooked down to syrup for Pampandou and Boudin too, and even Kush Kush. The folks and the food, the fun and the laughter, Acadiana, I love you. This prayer I pray when I pass from this world to a better tomorrow. In Acadiana, my heart will stay. The rich brown soil covers fields like a blanket. Flooded rice, it's a beautiful sight. Trucking the harvest to be packaged and sold, stirred in a gumbo when the weather's just right. boiling sacks of live crawfish with hot Cajun seasoning. You run out and grab a burner and pot. You eat a few pounds and then you eat a few more. And when you're done, you can say, I sure ate a lot. The folks and the food, the fun and the laughter. But Katie Anna, I love you. This prayer I pray when I pass from this world to a better tomorrow. In a Katie Anna, my heart will stay. Gators in Nutra, in dark muddy water, bask in the sun. It suits them just fine. Boating and hunting, fishing and camping. For a lover of nature,